Ontoval is a domain-independent and portable web tool for evaluating OWL ontologies by a non-technical domain specialist. Ontoval presents the ontology to the user in a textual way, as well as a verbalization tool. Also, Ontoval has an integrated form engine allowing the user to provide feedback and evaluate the correctness of the artifact being developed. In the end, Ontoval automatically aggregates and processes the data, presenting a detailed report on the results of the evaluation to the developer. Ontoval was designed to automate the evaluation process from an ontology developer's perspective. Developers provide the ontology as the input. It is worth it to mention that Ontoval was designed to handle any domain, so the tool is portable across virtually any projects. Moreover, when available, a visual model representing the ontology can also be fed into Ontoval, which can display this information as a supporting tool for the domain expert users when they're evaluating the ontology. Ontology Engineer Mode. The expert can adapt the ontologies and can analyze the result of the evaluation. If the user has already done a test, the system should list the previous tests. How to add an ontology? The user must click on the button to add a new ontology. In the screen, the user can perform the following actions: ontology name, description of the ontology, ontology file. It can be in TTL, OWL, NT, and N3 formats. The system must recognize the input formats. Ontology image. In this field, the user can include an image with the conceptual model of the ontology. Right after the user includes this information, the system writes the ontological schema to the MongoDB database, which are the ontology name, the number of classes, properties shown in the ontologies, and the number of complete evaluations made in the ontology. The system also provides an evaluation link to be accessed by the evaluator. When accessing the link, the evaluator should initially provide the following information: name, age, domain knowledge level on the scale of 0 to 10, level of knowledge about ontology on the scale of 0 to 10. The evaluation can be done anonymously. After completing this information, the user goes to the evaluation screen. The screen is divided into 3 parts. In the first part, we have the evaluation information panel, which is on the left. The central part is the evaluation area. The glossary area is on the right, and at the end of the topic, we have an area of shortcuts. In the ontology information panel, we have information about the ontologies such as name, description, and the schema model. Also, we have information about the progress of the evaluation, such as rate of evaluated classes, properties evaluated, and evaluation of general aspects of the ontology. The evaluation area is divided into 2 parts. The first part has information about resources being evaluated, such as an URI, the names, the definition, and in case it is a class, it shows its definition. And then we have the evaluation form, where there are questions related to the correctness of the resource. For instance, if the URI is correct, the names assigned are correct, subclass relations are correct, etc. The user is free to write suggestions and observations in an open field. On the right side, we have the glossary area. The main goal is to give descriptions about the main features. It is divided in 2 areas. At the top, there are classes, and at the bottom, there are properties. After the user evaluates the aspects related to classes and properties of the ontologies, the next step is to perform an evaluation of general perception. This perception is based on all the evaluation that has been made of classes and properties previously by the user, in which the user evaluates whether the ontology name and the ontology description are consistent with the ontology, and if the concepts are relating well and are sufficient for representing the domain. After the expert user evaluates the ontology, The ontology engineer can access the consolidated data from the evaluation. The screen is divided into 4 parts. They are the summary of the evaluations, the consolidated evaluations about classes, the consolidated evaluations regarding the property, and the last one is related to the general aspects of the ontology. In the general summary session, the ontology engineer has access to a table with general information about the evaluations such as average, maximum, and minimum values, and the standard deviation for age fields, domain experience, ontology experience, rate of average approval of the classes, average approval rate of the properties, and the time taken in the evaluation. In addition to the tables, users are shown in the charts relating the level of knowledge of the user on ontologies and the average of the general evaluation. The other measurement is the level of knowledge of the domain on the average of the evaluation. As for the evaluation of classes, the tool shows for each evaluated class a summary of the maximum value, average, and minimum value, as well as the standard deviation for the following items: general approval of each class, approval of its superclasses, approval of data type properties, and object properties. For classes that were not 100% approved, they are in red. As for the evaluation of properties, the tool shows a summary of the maximum value, average, and minimum value, as well as standard deviation for the following items: general approval of each class, approval of its superproperties, approval of the property range. For properties that were not 100% approved are in red. Finally, we have a table showing the agreement rate for each question.